On behalf of the state of Alaska and the Alaska Marine Highway, welcome aboard. My name is Captain Bob Johnson. In the next few minutes, we'll be showing you a program about Southeast and the cities in Southeast that the Alaska Marine Highway service. Before we show this program, I would like to acquaint you with some of our safety features and safety requirements aboard the vessel and other facilities that are available to you. The United States Coast Guard does not allow passengers aboard on the car deck while the vessel is underway. However, from the Seattle to Ketchikan run, we have made arrangements for 3 car deck calls a day. The time of these calls are posted down at the purser's desk. From Ketchikan north, passengers are only allowed on the car deck while the vessel is in port. Should for any reason you have to visit your car, you've left something in it or this nature, contact the purser's desk and they will have a guide take you to the car deck. While walking your pets, we request that you keep them on a leash. For your convenience, we have posted smoking and non-smoking signs aboard the vessel. We request that you honor these signs. Passengers with children, we request that you know their whereabouts at all times for their own safety, and that do not allow them to run aboard the vessel. Should we encounter any ocean motion while on this voyage, it is requested that you use the handrails, watch for swinging doors, and move about as little as possible. In the unlikely event of trouble, the general alarm bells would be rung. We would inform all the passengers of the situation, and any directions would be given by the vessel's PA system. At least once in each week, we hold fire and boat drills aboard the ship. This is to check the equipment and keep proficient, and also to satisfy Coast Guard requirements. The Alaska Marine Highway vessels are registered in the United States. They meet international safety standards and are maintained fire standards for new ships. We caution you to at no time tamper with any of the ship's safety equipment or gear. To do so is a violation of federal law and holds a very heavy penalty. For those passengers in stateroom with children, you may, if you desire, get a child's life jacket from the purser's desk. The rest of the passengers are on-deck passengers. Life jackets are stowed throughout the vessel at convenient locations, and in an emergency, they would be provided by the crew. Once again, welcome aboard. And now for your viewing enjoyment, we present Sights and Sounds of Southeastern Alaska.
There's the land. Have you seen it? It's the cussedest land that I know, from the big dizzy mountains that screen it to the deep, death-like valleys below. Some say God was tired when he made it. Some say it's a fine land to shun. Maybe, but there's some as would trade it for no land on earth, and find one.
It's a painting almost too awesome for the eye. Its textures, color, and forms are the stuff of dreams. It's the Alaska of the common concept, the myth, the mystery. And it's an Alaska that does exist. But in reality, there's more than the myth, much more. There's life in Alaska, and the rhythms of its nature are vibrant. From all that ice and all that snow comes the water, and the stream, where the life cycle begins. There is poetry in Alaska that cannot be put into words. With nature herself as the choreographer, that poem is better expressed by the dance. The abundance of wildlife, the true and sustaining connection to the origins of this great land. A land with a 600-mile-long panhandle of lush forests, ice-choked fjords, countless islands, and age-old glaciers, all known as Southeast. Southeast Alaska, with modern cities that are gems still in the cutting. The largest of the cities in Southeast, and the capital of Alaska, is Juneau. And from Juneau, these are the sights and sounds. Each year, tens of thousands of visitors from the lower 48 and from the world over come to Southeast to see for themselves the wonder that is Alaska. Without question, one of the most inspiring and pleasurable voyages anywhere on Earth is the 3-day journey on the Inside Passage, weaving through the islands of the Alexander Archipelago, a voyage of discovery to witness the still untouched natural beauty of Southeast Alaska. Rain or shine, clear or misty, the pleasures of the view of the Inside Passage are never diminished as mountainous islands emerge from the sea. Each of the main cities in Southeast Alaska is equipped with a modern and versatile harbor, easily capable of accommodating world-class cruise ships. On almost any summer day, one of the busiest harbors anywhere very much appears to be Juneau, Alaska. As many as 4 passenger ships a day will set anchor in the Gastineau Channel. Juneau is a city just a little more than 100 years old and has grown steadily since the days of the gold rush. The recently reconstructed Douglas Bridge links the Juneau mainland with historic Douglas Island. You won't see many roads in Southeast Alaska, but you can't miss the highway, the Alaska Marine Highway. In Southeast Alaska, there's ferry service to nearly every community, large or small, on the map, served by the white, blue, and gold fleet of the Alaska Marine Highway. And the larger ships of the fleet offer service to and from Canada and the 900-mile distance Seattle, a pleasant and economical way to discover Southeast. But there are roads in Juneau, like the 4-lane Egan Expressway lined with the waving flags of 50 states. In historic downtown Juneau, you'll see sights like the Red Dog Saloon, next door to the famous Alaskan Hotel. Mingled with the historic sights are modern shops and delightful restaurants for visitors and residents alike. A downtown where free enterprise is alive and well. Juneau's biggest employer, the state. Just go north on Main Street. Since 1906, Juneau has been the capital of Alaska. And here in the Capitol building, the Senate and the House of Representatives convene to legislate the laws of the nation's largest state. And just walking distance away, in a mansion built at the foot of a mountain, lives the governor. On 5th Street, not far from the Capitol building, you'll find the oldest original Russian Orthodox church in Southeast Alaska. It was constructed in 1894. The historic home of Judge James Wickersham, one of the first proponents of Alaska statehood. The ruins of the A.J. mine. There was gold in that hill, and there's some there still. You can pan for gold at the Ore House on Thane Road and enjoy a salmon bake or delicious barbecue. On a nice day, the place for sun and change of pace in downtown Juneau is the Marine Park. The sea breeze and the company make relaxing in the park and visiting a pleasant pastime. One of Juneau's newest additions, the beautiful Centennial Hall for concerts and conventions in this growing city. In Juneau, you're never very far from a glacier, and just 12 miles north of the city center is the only drive-up glacier in the world, the Mendenhall, where you just might find the perfect ice cubes for your Alaska-sized beverages. While in southeast Alaska, you may want to visit other cities like Ketchikan, the gateway city, noted for good humor and abundant rainfall. But there's more than rain in this thriving, friendly community. In Alaska, fish is king. In Ketchikan, fish is also chum, coho, pink, and chinook. Salmon, that is, caught here and distributed throughout the world. Just outside downtown Ketchikan is Saxman Totem Village, with as impressive a display of totem poles as you will ever see. These totems, with great skill and attention, have been produced to symbolize historical events and spiritual beliefs of the Southeast Alaska native culture. Walking among these totem poles, the largest collection in the world, one can't help but feel the profound spiritual influence of the native peoples on this great land. When you see this perfectly formed and now extinct volcano, Mount Edgecombe, you've arrived at Sitka by the Sea. At one time the capital of Russian America, Sitka was the site where Seward purchased Alaska, a city of historical and religious significance. Its beautiful Russian Orthodox church houses a priceless collection of religious icons. Midway between Ketchikan and Juneau is the city known as Alaska's Little Norway, Petersburg, not far from the neighboring community of Wrangell. About 90 miles north of Juneau lies the gold rush city of Skagway, looking much today as it did in 1898, when thousands of men passed through to struggle up the Chilkoot Pass in the quest for fortune. Skagway was a town the gambler Soapy Smith had up his sleeve. Some say he still does. When you fly into Juneau, you get a great view of a harbor full of boats. If you feel the urge to get on one of those boats, there are many available. The destination is always exciting. If sport is what you have in mind, be assured, not many get away. In Juneau, a hub of summertime activity is the Merchant's Wharf, where you can see halibut filleted, crab cooked, and people enjoying just being there. One of the exciting, delightful, and truly memorable side trips available to you in Juneau is the flight over the ice cap to Taku Glacier Lodge. Here's a look. As your plane takes off from the busy Juneau harbor, you can't help but be filled with the anticipation that something special is about to happen. Remember, this is a bush plane, and the bush is where you're going. Oh, no need to worry. He's a very good pilot. He'll clear the point. And there it is, the ice cap. And complete amazement is a common first reaction. It's a mass of ice which spawns dozens of glaciers, 1,500 square miles of ice and snow, in many places over 4,000 feet thick. The rock pinnacles you see are mountain peaks called nunataks, landmarks for a pilot flying over a sea of brilliant white. On your way to the Taku River Valley, the home of Taku Lodge. Taku is a Tlingit Indian word meaning where the wild goose sits down. And the Taku River is where you land, directly across from Hole-in-the-Wall Glacier, one of the few advancing glaciers today. At Taku Glacier Lodge, you're served a smorgasbord meal that's as delicious as dining can get. And you can get as much as you want. Salmon baked over an outdoor alderwood fire, Alaska baked beans, sourdough rolls baked fresh daily, several complimentary side dishes, and for dessert, old-fashioned oatmeal cookies. An unforgettable trip. And from Juneau, there are other extraordinary trips. Northwest to Glacier Bay National Park, with the excellent chance of witnessing a glacier calving huge chunks of ice into the sea. Or go in a southerly direction to Tracy Arm, as magnificent a view of glaciers and floating ice as you can see anywhere. And for the more adventurous, there are the rapids of the Mendenhall River. In safety, you can ride the sometimes raging glacial waters flowing from Mendenhall Lake to the Gastineau Channel. There is winter in Juneau, and when it snows, everyone enjoys it. From all over southeast Alaska and the Yukon, skiers from beginner to expert fly into Juneau's busy international airport to take advantage of the powder snow slopes of the Eagle Crest ski area. And a downhill race is the ending verse of the sights and sounds of Juneau and southeast Alaska. A verse of poetry very much in motion.
There's the land where the mountains are nameless and the rivers all run God knows where. There are lives that are erring and aimless, and deaths that just hang by a hair. There are hardships that nobody reckons. There are valleys unpeopled and still. There's the land, and it beckons and beckons, and I want to go back, and I will.